Hello everyone, welcome back to Dungeon Master for Hire. My name is Professor PUI and I will be your Dungeon Master for this video. Today we'll be talking about why your character's backstory matters. Stay tuned. Everybody must come from somewhere. No one just pops into existence to be just your avatar for play. You know, it's the player's job just to create who this character is, why he's there, and, you know, why he has a sense of being, wonder, and heck, even his reason for adventuring. And by writing your backstory, you get a view as to why this character became to be who he is, he or she, and how he has faced adversity and how he deals with it as the story progresses. You know, a character with no written backstory makes it really hard for the Dungeon Master and his fellow friends to determine what this character actually is. You wouldn't know how a character with no backstory, not knowing how he's dealt with it in the past, is going to deal with dealing with a kid, or dealing with the captain of the guard when they are suddenly detained. Is he going to randomly start killing everybody? Is he going to adopt the kid, or just send him into the wilderness just to see if he survives or not? Because then he says that's how he was raised, when you know full and well that you don't even know. And it really becomes real hard to make moments for these types of PCs. I've had two who started out with no background because we needed to play instantly. But I made sure that by the next session, we had a backstory for those characters, or at least have something of a backstory, the beginnings of it. Otherwise, the characters would just be bland, just men for hire, hired guards. And from that moment onward, they just become playered NPCs. And that's not the fun of D&D. The fun of D&D is for you to create these characters, create this backstory, and if your Dungeon Master allows it, you can effectively create a whole lot of things that your character is attached to. A character could have a family, a character could have siblings, a character could have a heirloom that belonged to their mother, their long-lost mother. They might not even know who their parents are. They have these unknown power that the Dungeon Master is given free will to determine what they are. And, it adds to the character's dynamic. It makes them more interesting. It makes them much more interesting to play. Another thing is, without backstory, there's no way to actually raise the stakes for the player. And by that I mean that if a character doesn't really have anything to hold him back, anything that he can recall or call home, that being friends, family, a town, or hell, even secrets they keep, it's hard to raise the stakes for them. It's hard to run a session around them too. And that's why I have a system, more like a guide, detailing what would make a good point as to how to raise the stakes for this character. It's called Knives Theory. Now, I found this on Reddit, so I didn't really make the system from the ground up, but it is a very good system. And I encourage you, if you're making character or you want to revise your backstories, to take a look at how many knives your characters have. It's a very simple system. Let me give you some examples to make this a little easier. Family members, they count as one knife. A big family or bundle of family members, like a family of 10, could just count as a big knife, dealing a lot of damage. Unexplained powers is another knife. Every enemy your character's made could count as to one knife. Character obligations, that being to temples, religion, or knighthood, that could be a knife that could be used against them. Secrets a character keeps is another knife they could have. And the more knives you have, the more the dungeon master can effectively stab you with them. That's why they're called knives. They can use them against them to raise the stakes for this character. Now, a dungeon master would be extremely skilled to use these knives accordingly. You won't be using every knife the character has every session. That being, you have too many characters to deal with, but you can set up situations where a knife is in play. A character's parents could be in peril. A character's sibling could have gone missing, and that's a knife in and of itself. A clue to their location, a clue to their whereabouts. It's a good enough knife as any. And that'll keep the player interested, because now the character's backstory is in play. And that just raises the stakes little by little, and makes this experience more interesting for everybody at the table. Now, I recommend that it's best to incorporate 7 knives to a character's backstory. That way you don't have too little or too much. Having 15 knives is too much. And having too little makes the characters less interesting, as there's no real way for the Dungeon Master to put some stakes on that character's catalog. So just sharp those knives. Give them to your Dungeon Master. Don't give them too much, but don't give them too little. You know, everything in moderation makes the game a lot better. Now, for all you Dungeon Masters out there, please, stab away, gentlemen. Stab away. I'll leave a link to the original Reddit post so you guys can take a look and take some notes on how you can write your story. You don't have to incorporate every knife, since most of these knives could be created around play. You know, character could get married, character could have a family, and so the knives appear as themselves. Character could create a political enemy, and a knife gets added to their catalog. It's just, when it comes to writing a backstory, it's good to have at least 7 knives for the Dungeon Master to play with. Not every character has a secret, not every character has a loyalty, but every character has at least a family member or a friend that they rely on. So it's good to have them knives sharp, and it's good to give them to your Dungeon Master so you can raise the stakes and give you something to play with. Well, that is all for today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you understand the importance of backstories for characters. And this doesn't really only apply to player characters, this also applies to characters that you're writing for either a book, game, or just any character writing to begin with. So, use this information as you would like. Leave in the comments if you have any ideas, or if you want to share what kind of tweaks or interesting knives you can come up with. I'd like to read them, and I'll see you in the next one. Class is dismissed.